Hello and welcome to ILTV's Evening Update. I'm Aaron Porras here with the latest news from Israel. The establishment of a first-of-its-kind National Center for Cyber Education was announced this week by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Called the National Center for Cyber Education with a $6 million budget over the next 5 years, its purpose is to increase the number and raise the level of young Israelis for their future integration into the Israeli security services, industry, and the academic world. Netanyahu made the announcement in a meeting with students in Tel Aviv on the sidelines of the CyberTech 2017 International Conference. Israel is a world leader in cybersecurity with 65 startups created last year. In total, there are 365 companies specializing in cybersecurity in the country. Last year, a record $581 million allocated, an increase of 9% over 2015, put Israel second in the world after the United States for the volume of venture capital funds in the sector. In one of the latest reports by the Palestinian Media Watch organization, an episode of The Best Home, a children's program on the Palestinian Authority's official television station, aired on January 20th, in which young kids recited poems glorifying death, violence, weapons, and the slaughter of Israelis. A young girl and boy together stood up and recited a poem saying, quote, "World, hear and see, my rock has turned into an AK-47. Your words are true, Yasser Arafat, O mountain. The wind will not move you," end quote. In an earlier episode in which a boy named Muhammad was congratulated for his poem, he said, quote, "Today, O our West Bank, our Gaza, raise your voice, O our land. The time has still not passed as we expelled them from Gaza and Sderot, as we slaughtered them in your streets, Beirut. For you, Yasser Arafat, for you we shall die. We, Fatah, are a storm and our blood is food for the revolution," end quote. Fatah is the biggest faction of the Palestinian Liberation Organization and is the same party as Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Israeli officials have consistently voiced concern over the Palestinian Authority's official sanctioning of violent rhetoric and incitement against Israelis and Jews. The FBI investigation into the wave of bomb threats against Jewish community centers across North America is being stymied by sophisticated technology that disguises the caller's voice. A former FBI assistant special agent said that investigating phone calls used to mean tracing a landline, a relatively simple procedure in comparison to the present, but that now technology has advanced in ways that make it hard for law enforcement to keep up with. The latest bomb threat against JCCs and Jewish federations took place on Tuesday, the latest of 3 waves of threats throughout January. The first day of threats came on January 9th, the second on January 18th. A total of some 65 bomb threats were made in phone calls to the Jewish institutions. Israel remains the only free country in the Middle East, according to the latest Freedom Index published by the Washington-based think tank Freedom House. Israel scored 80 on a scale of 100, which compares favorably with partly free countries in the region such as Turkey at 38, Jordan 37, and Kuwait 36. Countries considered not free by Freedom House include Iraq at 27, Iran 17, Saudi Arabia at 10, and Syria at -1, among all other Middle East nations. European and North American nations all scored between 89 and 100, with the exception of the Balkan nations and Greece. Freedom House calculates its scores based on a methodology of political rights indicators and 15 civil liberties indicators, such as electoral process, political pluralism, and participation and functioning of government. It also includes freedom of belief, rule of law, and several other absolute principles of liberal democracies. Yonatan Byrne, one of 3 people on trial for the theft of artwork worth more than $100 million by Picasso, Matisse, Modigliani, Braque, and Fernando Leger, testified in court yesterday that he panicked and threw away 5 of the masterpieces. Quote, "I threw them into the trash," said the 40-year-old Byrne, an expert and dealer in luxury watches. He told the court, "I made the worst mistake of my existence." But investigators and the other defendants do not believe Byrne permanently disposed of the paintings, according to the Associated Press, citing court documents. They believe the paintings were taken out of France by Byrne and sold, perhaps in Israel, to an Israeli collector, the French news agency AFP reported. That's all for now. Stay tuned on ILTV.tv for our main daily broadcast playing after this. I'm Aaron Porras and see you next time with our morning briefing from Israel at 8 a.m. Eastern Time.